My team supports young people that are transitioning out of children mental health services and potentially going into adult mental health services. But Transitions is an age group that can sort of get lost basically between children's services and adults. And it's helping the young people to understand those differences and to learn how to navigate them so that they can start managing them independently. Specifically our project, I think it's good for children's services where it's a lot more nurturing, families tend to be involved or a lot more professionals, to going into an adult service where the onus is a lot more on the young person, and it's understanding that system and how it works. It's an age group that can sort of get lost basically between children's services and adults. Supporting that age group, I think, is incredibly important to allow them to access continued mental health services. Our support is really holistic, so it's dependent on the young person. Our primary focus is wellbeing, so in those instances we do a lot of work on like coping strategies, providing like a safe space to talk, provide a lot of support around finances, looking at universal credit, or even housing. So we're really quite fluid in the support that we offer. I've worked with young people where they just completely struggle to get out of the house. And I've spent the full 18 sessions going from the furthest point in the house, gradually building up that outdoor exposure to then walking to the local shops and then to the park. And the fact that then going forward, they were able to go down to the local shop if they needed something. And then they've grown in confidence to know that they could push past that actually they do have the ability to do it, and they just need to do those small steps every day, just that little bit further, to be open to the possibility of going back to college. And then that just means that if they need to access other services, even if it's just a GP, that they can do that themselves. I think that's why our work is so important. The funding that we receive, it fully sort of goes into staff so that we can support the young people in the community. The transitional age is so important, and actually the risk level with our client group can be quite high because the thresholds for a lot of services are quite high, and if they don't quite meet that threshold or they're struggling too much with their mental health to actually access those services, especially with them being a lot more sort of like clinical based, it means that they could potentially like slip through the cracks. And that's why this project is so important to us, to me, to our young people, because I think they really need that support to be able to move on to the next step. So we certainly kind of want to make all support, if it's needed, as accessible as possible.